Yeah, Mike.
Hi, George.
Hi. How tough is it to prepare when you're in the pros and you're coaching in the pros? You know, you're 3 days before Christmas, and it's a job. But when you're 3 days before Christmas and you've got a bunch of college kids, how tough is it to prepare them to play basketball this close to Christmas and everything?
Well, I don't think it's any differently. If you got your team in position, you're playing for something. And in the pros, we were always trying to play to make the playoffs. So every game is important, regardless of the time of season it is. And that's what I'm expressing to these guys. We're staring dead at the Big Ten, after our next game coming back after this break. And every game that we play is important. You can't take any nights off, and I truly believe any team in college basketball can beat you if you're not prepared and ready to play. So this was a good win for our ball club going into the break, but, they get the 2 days off. I hope they have a great time with their family, but Sunday is going to be back to work.
Yeah, Coach. First, the decision not to play Parker in the first half, was it injury-related or discipline-related? I'm
not addressing that. That's in-house matter. I would never address things that go on in my locker room to the fans or to the media. That would never happen.
And the defense in the second half, why do you think it kind of slipped a little, or what?
Well, I got to go back and look at the tape, but it wasn't pretty. I'll tell you that. I thought defensively we did everything right the first half in terms of our coverages, our switches. We were up touching guys. Nobody were getting, pulling up with dare shots, and it was totally the opposite the second half. And, I made that known before we broke huddle tonight that can happen. You won't win a lot of games in the Big Ten doing that.
Mike, I know you don't want to talk about Parker, but can you talk about Anthony getting his first start and what that means for a local kid like that, getting a start here and how you thought he did?
Listen, 5 guys can start. It's all you can start in the game. And Parker didn't start tonight. Anthony started. Thought he played well. But again, everybody that plays on this team, I feel good about playing. So, somebody's got to start. Somebody's got to come off the bench. Somebody's got to finish the game. It's just a part of basketball. But I thought he played well as a starter. He did a good job for us tonight.
Trace talked about this race. I remember talked about it a lot in the preseason, you challenging him, and that being a real point of emphasis of you just saying, we need you to score, we need you to be confident shooting the ball, we need you to be confident looking for your own offense. How tough has that been for him at times when he's playing against a volume guy like Trace, and how have you seen him really kind of carve out that offensive role for himself?
This is Race or Trace? Race. Well, again, he's a senior, man. He's been around, so I went through the system as a college player. I think as you grow in college as a ball player, you expect things. You expect the older guys to do things at a higher level, and he's been around a while. So, when I took this job, he was one of the first guys I sat down and told him what I expected. The fact that he had played, a number of years in college, hey, expectations are high. He's got to be held a lot higher from an accountability standpoint. I expect a lot from Race and Trace. And Race he's come through, man. He's doing a lot of wonderful things for this ball club, things that some people thought he couldn't do, when I got here. But he's gotten better because he's put in the work, and, that's a testament to him.
Mike, you're 12 games in right now. Is the learning curve of this team where you want it to be?
Well, again, I think, as we go game by game, practice by practice, there's always going to be a learning curve. These guys hadn't been together that long. And surely, they hadn't been together long with me and vice versa. So, it's a learning process for me every day, dealing with this unit. And I don't mean that in a negative way. They've done everything I've asked them to do. I've been pushing and yelling and, patting them here and there. And, hey, it's just a part of, what we do as coaches. But I'm excited about where we are as a team, knowing that there's still a long way to go when we're talking about the big picture.
Mike, turnovers always something that we seem to talk about, and this team, Darren Horn's teams, that's one of the things they focus on. But at the end of the first half, you guys only had 5, but the second half, I think it jumps to 8. Part of the reason things go awry in the second half. What was the reason for so many more turnovers in that second half?
Well, I think their zone is kind of unique because it's a 2-3 matchup. They'll switch a point guard onto our big guys, and then try to pass them off. And sometimes it's confusing, and I'm not making excuses. I mean, I thought when we got the ball in the interior of their defense, we tried to make plays that just weren't there. And that's how they catch teams. And, we're starting to see more zones. You think back to the St. John when they pretty much pressed us the whole game and threw all kinds of zones at us in the half court. We're starting to see more of them, and we just got to, continue to work and get comfortable with them, because I think teams will continue to play some zone and trap. It's just part of college basketball.
Coach Trace talked about the importance of being unselfish down low. What do you think of the chemistry that him and Race have developed in the post?
It's been great. I saw a little bit of that last year, and they know each other's movement on inside, and they read each other really well, which is great. I always talk about buddy ball with our bigs, and they're really good buddies. When it comes to playing buddy ball, especially inside the zone. So that's something that's got to continue. I got to get Geronimo and Big Mike more in play in that area, and just see what happens as we move forward.
Ken and Mike.
Coach, you've talked about the defense being ahead of the offense since the summer. 20 assists on 32 made baskets. Are you pleased with the way that the offense is at least the pace at which you're trying to catch up to that defense?
Well, again, I mean, when I look at the point differential, we got a big plus based on how we're scoring the ball and how we're defending our opponents. So, in that regard, I'm happy. But again, I'm not overly happy where we are from an offensive standpoint, because I just think there's so much more to give, and we just got to keep working, man. I mean, I knew the defense would be ahead of the offense, and we're doing some good things offensively, but we're just not there yet as far as I'm concerned. But it's still work in progress, put it that way.
Go ahead, Mike.
Yeah, Coach, another race question. He's made 17 of 19 shots in these last 3 games. When you watch him play, what makes him so efficient? Is it his strength around the basket, shot selection, or what do you see?
I think, the fact that we're delivering the ball to him in areas where he can be effective. And, he's been working on his little floaters, his, little jump shots and things of that nature. And again, he stepped out and shot a 3 tonight. I don't mind him shooting threes. I mean, you just got to get comfortable, shooting them and making them. But he's been so effective for us, around the bucket. And the fact that we work on it every day in terms of delivering the ball down low to all our bigs, because that's where our strength as a team is. So I'm just happy for him, man, because he's worked. And like I said, there were a lot of things when I got here that, people said he couldn't do, and he's defeating all the odds. He's doing a lot of great things for our ball club. He really is.
Last question, Dustin.
I actually had a question on Race as well. How much of his success is how he's moving without the ball? You mentioned him playing off of Trace, but it seems like just he's in motion a lot. He's not necessarily just standing with his back to the basket. How much do you think that's helped him just
Race or Trace?
Race.
Yeah. Well, I think the unique thing, I'm letting Race bring the ball up the court and try to make plays in that regard. I didn't box him in a box when I got here. You know, I tried to make everybody comfortable. It's got to be that way, you know, because you're going to get caught throughout the course of a ball game where you got to make a play with the basketball. And he's comfortable in that area. And he's comfortable in making plays, you know, around the rim. I mean, you saw that again tonight. So, again, I can't praise him enough. You know, he just got to continue to work, and hopefully he'll grow and get even better. I mean, that's how you get better as an individual player and in terms of helping us win ball games. So I'm pleased with what he's done.
Okay.
That it? Happy holidays to everybody. All righty.